Hey folks, Will Brink here, www.brinkzone.com. Today I'm going to try to answer a question that I've been asked millions of times, I think, which is how much muscle can one gain naturally? And I know that's a question that floats around all the time and no one ever has a precise answer. And I am actually going to attempt to give people a fairly precise answer once and for all on how much muscle can one gain naturally. And that's not a very easy question to answer, believe me. So to do that, what we're going to need is my handy board here, and we're going to need a little graphical representation to show you how I'm going to basically give you these numbers. So in science, we use something called the bell curve, which is typical. Looks like so. That's your classic bell curve. I'm sure you have all seen it in various textbooks and whatever. It's a graphical representation of data, and basically it usually represents, that's going to be the way we're going to use it today at least. This is of course going to be your average, okay? So basically this is your average person right here. This is all the average people, okay? On this side you basically have people who can obviously a small number of people who can do everything basically right, eat right, train right, and all that, and not make much progress. On the far end, you have again that small number of people who can do everything wrong and still make progress. They are, your genetic freaks. And I have 2 other videos in the series discussing genetics and the role genetics plays, so you might want to check those out. And this, of course, represents more or less most people most of the time. That's probably you and me, but obviously there are of course people on either side of this line, but this is most people most of the time, and these are the people I am trying to address when we talk about what we're going to talk about, okay? So you want to know how much muscle can I put on naturally. Again, this is not a conversation that has any drugs involved because that's a whole other conversation. And how long will it take? I've been in this game a long time, 20 plus years. I get to interact with thousands of people via the internet and seminars and stuff. So, and training people, of course. So I think I've got a pretty good handle on this at this point. Okay, so now here's the magic number. Most people, most of the time, with let's say average genetics, doing everything basically right. Again, the problem is I have to make a lot of assumptions here to make this work. A whole lot of assumptions. A whole lot of variables are being thrown at this to make this work. But it's the only way I can do it. Okay? Most of the people, most of the time, with average genetics, can gain about 30 pounds of muscle, in my experience. Give or take, again, there's plenty of people on this side who do not gain that much, and that might depend on their genetics, might depend on how they're training, eating, etc. And there are certainly people on that side who have gained a little more. And that might be due to slightly superior genetics, might be that their training and their nutrition is, tighter than yours, what have you. But I will tell you, in my experience over all the years, that is about the average. Most people I have seen, if they are consistent and all that, can put on about 30 pounds. How long does it take? I know that's the next one. In my experience, about 3 to, I hope you can read this, 3 to 5 years. Those are the magic numbers. You can put on about 30 pounds naturally in about 3 to 5 years. Obviously, give or take, margin of error is fairly large here, I'm sorry to say, but people have asked me a million times, well, if I train hard and I've got okay genetics, how much muscle can I put on? How long will it take? And I have now given you an actual number in an actual time frame. And like I say, large margin of error, but I think those numbers are fairly accurate actually, all things considered. And if you like this info, please hit the like buttons and Twitter and all that. And I hope to see you all on the Brink Zone. Now, for more information on this topic, head on over to www.brinkzone.com, where you'll find my blog, more videos, free reports on fat loss, muscle building supplementation, fitness, health, and longevity, as well as a ton of articles in my free weekly fitness newsletter. And I'll see you all on the Brink Zone.